I'm sure you were aware of this as well.
Yeah.
Share with my audience what you had to say to me. You didn't say about me. You said it to me. So I'm mad appreciate it. Ain't no biggie.
Right.
But just tell everybody what you were getting on me about.
The use
You
of
wasn't
cannabis
getting
and
on him.
perfect,
You wasn't getting on him though.
It wasn't
I
a big deal.
I think it was a respectful call
Yeah, it
out.
was. It
you know
was.
what I mean? And to me, it's just
I ain't
this
letting
whole,
nobody disrespect you.
Yeah,
We ain't letting nobody
It's
disrespect
good,
we
man.
definitely get down with
Yeah,
you,
no doubt.
But to me, it's just this whole movement we've been making, and Jack and I were someone who used cannabis our entire careers. We found ways to make that work, and it helped us. And then you're hearing so many different stories of players that do use it now or who just recently retired, and Percy Harvin and Megatron talking about they used it. So to me, I love with your platform, and to me, your voice is bigger than just sports. You have a voice that resonates around the world, and to me, if there was a little bit more education on the weed side and the negative stereotype you're giving it, and if you understood it a little better, I think you would probably be more pro for it. Not that you use it or you're telling athletes to use it. I understand your angle too. You said if it messes up your money, you need to stop. But to me, it shouldn't mess up your money, because these teams are pumping us full of opioids and Toradol and stuff that's having long-term effects on our health and getting us addicted. But then they want to fine us, suspend us, and some people are losing their careers over smoking a joint. And to me, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Let me tell you something. First of all, I appreciate your comments. And this is the biggest reason why. Because, see, most people sitting in my chair don't want to admit they're ignorant about certain things. Let me be the first to say, when it comes to that, you sat up there and you said on social media, you might be a bit ignorant to this. And I was like, he's right. He's absolutely right. Because it's never something that I want to do, because I saw cats growing up in Hollis, Queens that were prisoners to it, okay?
Right.
So for me, I was always, I wasn't against it per se. I just didn't use it. Where I became against it was for this one thing. I've never believed in it for recreational purposes for a professional athlete. Because for a professional athlete, I've seen too many instances. I'm not saying everybody, but I've seen too many instances where it had a negative effect on that individual and their individual performance. And then I'm thinking about the corporate sponsors or whomever for the product. It could be folks that support in the NBA or any other brand or whatever. And I'm like, they want to make sure you lucid. They want to make sure you on point. They don't want any excuses. So I was thinking about it along those lines. I've never been against it for medicinal purposes. As a matter of fact, my mom, God rest her soul, passed away from cancer. And me and my family thought about her using it for medicinal purposes. I remember one time I even brought Snoop Dogg right here on this radio show while I was in L.A. And I said, Snoop, because these people won't listen to me, could you explain? And he said, you ain't talking about what cats do with their time or anything. He said, you talking about cats that allow it to affect their money. If a league has a policy against it, and if you get busted and you are in violation of it, it's going to cost you millions. So not talking about you, but hypothetically just using you two as an example, because you're sitting right in front of me. My attitude has always been, if you like me and you scratched and you clawed your way to get to where you are,
we both
knowing what poverty is, knowing what it's like to starve and everything like that, and then suddenly you make it. And then now you jeopardizing it because of this. Like a guy like David Irvin, for example. Listen, Matt Barnes explained it. You're going to explain it. But this cat who wants to come on this show, and he can at his own peril if he wants to, because when he retired from football, he was on there saying, I ain't giving this up. He didn't explain it like you did. He didn't explain it like Al Harrington did or anybody else. Well, he said, I ain't giving this up. Hell with my football career. And I'm like, what?
Yes, ignorant.
All of this that you went
But
through.
see,
So when I want to, only thing that I want to say is that's what I'm speaking against. To each his own. It's not what I'm gonna do, but I ain't judging. I'm only judging cats that lose money because of this after working so hard to get that money.
That's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. What I was saying too was like, I totally agree with you on that, because I've always say it's not what you do, it's how you do it. My whole NBA career, I did it the right way. I wasn't doing it for people to know Stephen A. I wasn't doing it to be seen with. I wasn't doing it to be cool. I was doing it to keep my body and my mind in the right place, to go out there and put my body on the line every night. And that's it. It wasn't for nobody to know. It wasn't for people to say, oh, Steven Jackson breaking the rules. It wasn't for none of that. It's not how you do it. That's not what you do. It's how you do it. And you exactly right. Anybody. I was never suspended for a game. It never came up, never got caught with it, nothing. But it's people that get caught with it and jeopardize jobs like being in the NBA, jobs like being in the NFL, they got to understand where you coming from. And I totally understand it, because I would, if it was a situation where cannabis or weed jeopardize my job and how I take care of my family, it's a no-brainer. I would never do it again. So guys that's willing to come to professional sports and start smoking all of a sudden, and that didn't smoke when they was coming up, trying to be cool and messing their jobs up, because you're right, Stephen A., they are idiots, and they are the reason why it's not been accepted, because guys like that's doing it for the wrong reasons.
I'll give you the last word on this subject, because you was bringing up some of the other things that teams themselves, and Megatron alluded to that, some of the stuff that, folks are putting into y'all bodies that we don't know about.
Right.
Go ahead, speak on that.
Well, I've got a chance to get to know David Irvin since he retired. We connected via social media, and then exchanged phone numbers, and he had a chance to explain it to me how I explained it to you. Like I said, I think it's all about delivery. The way he felt he wanted to do it was his choice, but he kind of put himself into a hole there.
Yeah, because all I saw was him on social media.
Right. And he's still playing.
I didn't see. Yeah, that's all I saw. I didn't see any of that.
Right. And like I said, my whole thing is it's just an outdated way of looking at things. I think we're so progressive now, and with regulations across the country, with legal, medicinal, and recreational. There's a lot of guys that really, like I said, I wasn't someone who could take opioids. You give me one painkiller, my stomach is turning upside down. So, like Jack just said, if he had to choose between his career and cannabis, that he would give up. I probably couldn't, for the fact that I know what it does for me, and I've been doing it for so long. So it's like I said, just like Jack said, it's not something I was promoting, I was trying to do to make cool. It was for me to focus, sleep, recover, and get through my crazy on the court life and off the court life. You got to think there's times where I'm head story of TMZ, and we got a game the same night. You know what I mean? So for me to be able to focus, it was something I needed. So I'm working with UCLA on the UCLA Cannabis Research Program, and we're studying the plant from head to toe and doing experimental trials.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.